So obviously, Islam Makhachev's last fight, I think he had like an underlying issue, like a staph infection or something like that. So let's look at this with everything we possibly can and say and give some benefit of the doubt here that, I think Dustin Poirier could have possibly been finished earlier had he been in perfect health. But you're only as good as your last fight. Now, obviously, there have been bigger blunders on Islam Makhachev's career, like the first Volkanovski fight that he arguably lost, although I think he edged it out that much based on the work in the earlier rounds. Those people who thought that Volkanovski won that fight aren't quite tripping. I do admit, 5th round goes to Volk, okay? But, Volkanovski should not have taken that fight on a week's notice. Here we got Arman, who has fought Islam before and has had a full camp. And Arman has proven after he beat Charles Oliveira, he is the guy to, if anyone can do it, it's going to be Islam Makhachev. Just kind of like when I said, if there's one guy that's going to beat Khabib Nurmagomedov, Tony Ferguson, but this time we don't have like a Tony Ferguson versus Justin Gaethje situation getting in the way of that, throwing his career off the path like it did. Because honestly, if that Justin Gaethje fight never would have happened, I don't think we would have seen Tony Ferguson take the downward spiral that he did. I think he probably would have slowly become a win some, lose some guy, but it would have never been that devastating. But Islam Makhachev, obviously he wants to fight Arman tonight on Saturday night, and then after he gets through, Oliveira's next. But I think like after that, he has taken his best challenge because Arman did just enough against Oliveira's style. They have a very top-heavy Sambo-like grapple style where they're trying to get on top and throw strikes. And Islam's got great striking. Arman's got devastating striking, especially if he hits you with something fierce and has you go down. Now, obviously, I can't count Islam out just yet because, like I said, last time I said you're only as good as your last fight and that Volkanovski rematch happened, I was a little nervous for Islam Makhachev. I really was. But he surprised me. I get a similar feeling right now where it's like, okay, I am super nervous for him. I don't know how he's making the walk to that octagon with calm nerves, knowing that he could beat Arman Tsarukyan, because that's the one matchup for him. I'm just like, okay, it's a big if. But just like his boy Umar in the co-main event, if he gets past this one, I feel like it's going to be smoother sailing. If he fights Charles Oliveira next, that's a shorter order, not necessarily an order you want to sleep on, but if he takes it as seriously as he did the first fight, then you know what? I think definitely he is going to be the long-reigning lightweight champion that we have not had in a while. And then if he gets a couple more defenses, then yeah, I would have no problem with him moving on to welterweight. But speaking of which, there's a reason why I'm hoping Islam finishes his last couple fights at the lightweight division and finishes Arman. Because when Arman was talking about how he wants money fights right as soon as he gets his belt, you need to build a name for yourself, especially if you're a guy who's not a big trash talker like Arman is. Arman's not that much of a trash talker in my honest opinion. I think he's pretty respectful, except for that audience member who touched him on his back and he threw a strike. In fact, honestly, I was completely on Arman's side when that happened. Don't touch a fighter and expect not to get hit, man. Like, I don't know why normal everyday citizens, do that. But obviously, if you respect him, he respects you back. He seems like a pretty all right guy. But guys like him have to stay and defend the belt a couple of times before they have any sort of bargaining power with the UFC calling for a money fight. Right now, Islam Makhachev is really close to being in that position where he can call for whatever money fight he wants. Heck, if Islam Makhachev beats a couple guys and says, you know what, I'll pass on the welterweight run, give me Conor McGregor just for fun. If Conor makes it to the octagon, he could probably get a red panty night. But hey, we'll have to wait and see. But honestly, who I hope wins is going to be Islam Makhachev. But right now, I really don't know because Arman seems like he is ready to put himself in that bargaining position where he can get a money fight, but he's going to have to finish Islam in dominating fashion, and then he's going to have to finish off a couple more guys in first-round fashion too. Like, if he had a lot of finishes like that Dariush fight, definitely, but him and Oliveira were like head and head, nose to nose in that fight. So we'll see, but that's what I got to say. I can't wait for this main event. See you on the next one. Peace.